28-year-old Kassandra Jackson gets upset when she's unable to obtain a protective order at the courthouse. In response, Judge Michael Bachman forcibly guides her into his courtroom.
Once Jackson is led back into the courtroom, she's made to sit, like a little kid.
Bachman then holds her in contempt of court for her hallway disruption and sentences her to 3 days in jail. But Jackson has no intention of sticking around.
Kassandra Jackson is upset, and she tries to escape. She actually gets up, tries to leave the jury box and leave the courtroom. But she doesn't get far.
Two deputies surround the frightened woman and forcibly hold her down.
She's flailing, she's resisting, and she's fighting with these deputies because she does not want to be taken into custody.
It's very tense, and to be real honest, it's very racial.
He got deputies to come and gather around this terrified black woman.
4 deputies then drag her out of the courtroom in handcuffs.
She's upset. They start bringing her down the hallway.
Deputies force this small woman, Kassandra, into a holding cell, and she does resist, but they interpret that as being so serious, they need to push her into a chair, handcuff her to the chair, and try to restrain her that way.
Judge Bachman gives Kassandra an additional 7 days in jail for resisting arrest.
I don't like to be a Monday morning quarterback judge, but that's insane. Before you send someone to jail, it has to be something serious. Why don't you give them a fine or something? I don't agree with that.
These deputies apparently thought Miss Jackson was such a threat that they needed a platoon of deputies to strap her to a wheelchair and then surround her as they wheel her down the hallway to her jail cell. In my opinion, that is so excessive and really unnecessary in terms of the force needed.
This is not the first time that Kassandra Jackson and Judge Bachman have crossed paths.
About a year before this incident, she had been before Judge Bachman asking for an order of protection. The judge denied it.
And Ms. Jackson didn't like that. It got nasty. She punched a placard on the wall of the courtroom, and the judge said, "How about 5 days in jail?"
She spent time in jail then. So for one, that should have signaled to her that this was a no-nonsense magistrate, and she had to handle her business correctly.
Word of Kassandra's most recent brush with Judge Bachman quickly gets out.
Bachman received a lot of criticism for the way he handled this situation.
And a new judge takes over Miss Jackson's case and lets her out after 2 days of incarceration.
Within a week of the incident, Judge Bachman is forced to resign, and it's later determined he violated the Code of Judicial Conduct.